Welcome to episode 113 of Convos on the Pedicab. I am here with my boy Alex Rosen, aka Gordon Flowers. He literally just got done doing an episode of InfoWars, and now he's here talking to the peasants on the Pedicab. I'm super excited. It's Halloween. I'm wearing my mask for that reason, and also to protect Alex from whatever new COVID variant might come about. So I'm excited to have you. Anyway, listen, before we get started, we got to give a big shout out to our sponsor, all right? And this episode is brought to you by PlebLab. PlebLab is an Austin, Texas-based Bitcoin and media company that allows individuals and small businesses to adopt Bitcoin and utilize it in their everyday lives. They also have a media outlet where they host podcasts, produce news, and help organize the appearance of prominent speakers in the Bitcoin community here in Austin. Remember, the best way to preserve your purchasing power and protect yourself from currency debasement is by owning sound money, and the best way to unapologetically express your true self is to have permissionless and censorship resistant money at your disposal that cannot be confiscated or frozen by a corrupt bank or government. So check out PlebLab if you would learn more about Bitcoin and protecting both your personal as well as your financial sovereignty. All right, guys, let's get started. We are so happy. This is the perfect person to be advertising sound permissionless money for, is the guy who's been crashing rallies of political opponents.
Absolutely, glad to be here, man. Thank you.
I'm excited, man. We've had a pretty eventful week together, would you say?
Yeah, we have. I'm like running on 3 hours of sleep, and my voice isn't what it once was a week ago, and I'm happy as hell.
You need to invest in a megaphone for these rally crashes.
You know, I've had megaphones stolen already, and I need to get another one. But yeah, I don't know why I'm not. I gotta go do that.
Man, we're like, boy. It's been a wild month, I'd say, right? You've been blowing up. Your Twitter following hasn't it increased by like 3x?
Yeah, I want to say the beginning of the month. Maybe we were at 12K, maybe. I don't know. I'm just throwing a number out there, but now we're at like almost 26,000 followers on Twitter. People are big fans of us confronting politicians to their face, and big shout out to Alex Stein for basically giving me the blessing to go do that.
I think it's a great move. You have to confront the sources of power where they are.
Yeah, absolutely.
And you have to do it in a way that's respectful and gets other people to want to question that power structure as well. And it's important that this stuff is being done, and this is not a partisan thing. You have to confront corrupt politicians and confront corrupt ideals in real time, because that's the best way to preserve your democracy, is to really exercise your free speech and express your distrust and dislike for certain government officials. And then you are literally saving democracy by doing that.
Yeah, absolutely. And that is actually how you save democracy. It's not censoring people on Twitter. It's just going up to your politicians and then just confronting them in a very peaceful way.
I agree, and that's what we're doing. What made you want to start getting involved with all this stuff?
Well, with the political stuff, I've always been right-leaning ever since I was a kid. But I don't know, just kind of seeing, gosh, I guess it started like in March of this year, but just kind of knowing that I'm over 18 now and I can go make a difference and go out and travel and do my own thing. I've always been a troll. I've always liked to screw with people, but now it's just to the point where, there's actually meaning behind it. Like, I want to make a change when I say this type of stuff. And, it's obviously a very fun thing, but a very important thing. And I've always been the type that, and I'm not a sideline sitter, except when Furlong is playing college football, but we won't talk about that right now. And to go do shit, and this is just doing shit in my eyes.
No, I agree. And I think COVID, these lockdowns really made you see the importance of having to get involved and do something.
Absolutely.
I think everybody kind of realized that, or a lot of people started to realize that. And people started to also realize the importance of getting involved locally. And I think that a lot of bad things happen as a result of this, but a lot of good things are also happening. And it's that people are realizing the power and magnitude of their own individual voice. And you're starting to realize that one person or a small group of people can actually make a noticeable difference in society. And we've been conditioned and raised to think that we're powerless and that, only big government entities really have a say in terms of what you can and cannot do, and that you can only protest things that the establishment allows you to protest. And I think that this is really kind of waking people up to the fact that that's completely false. So that's a good thing. I'm actually very optimistic about how humanity is going to kind of move going forward, even though we're going to have some roadblocks. I'm very long-term bullish on humans.
Well, that's a very, gosh, I'm not sure if I 100% agree with that take. I'm not black-pilled enough to stop doing this and just say, fuck it, I'm just going to live out the rest of my life and just, wait for the second coming or whatever, something like that. Like, that's a stance that I don't agree with. Like, a lot of Christians have that view, like, let's just sit on our computers and do nothing and just complain about what's going on.
And we got to go in the QAnon chats, right?
Yeah,
like,
the Q chats.
Let me show you how woke I am. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah, I'm going to be a digital soldier. It's not really a knock on Christianity. It's more of a knock of, because I'm sure Jesus doesn't want people sitting on the sidelines.
Also, we're not Christians. That's the other thing. We're Jews, man. We're actually, fun fact, we are actually the lizards controlling. What's happening?
It's you should probably just film it regularly.
All right, no, we're back. You see, they're silencing us right now actively as we speak. But like, we're not Christians. We're actually Jews. A lot of people don't know that. Maybe your last name may have given it away. Reconnect.
Yeah, I'll just do the cameraman.
Reconnect. Okay, we're back. We're actually the lizards controlling things at the World Economic Forum.
Yeah, we are. As soon as we told YouTube right there that we were Jews, it's instantly reconnected for us. They're like, oh, okay, we're gonna let you speak then.
Yeah, exactly.
But, yeah, I think Kanye West is just a huge racist, and he hates black people, and he's a white supremacist.
Exactly, and that's why I'm trying to file that lawsuit against him for $4 quadrillion, just like I announced at the Commissioner's Court.
Yeah, he should really just name himself Kanye South because he believes the South will rise again.
I like that. We should. That should be another album.
Kanye South?
Yeah. Kanye South.
He's so
oh
racist.
Boy, that's funny. But yeah, what made you decide to like, because we touched on it for like a little bit, right? But you were a football player. You played college football. You got a preferred walk-on spot at Texas Southern University. So you were like a stud athlete back in high school. You got a preferred walk-on role at a Division I FCS school to play the game that you love, and you stopped. What happened?
Well, clearly looking at my body now, you can tell that I've stopped for a few years now. But I just got into predator catching, and I've always
okay. This is fucking retarded.
You gotta film it regularly.
All right, I guess we just no. We're fine. I guess it's good now. All right, so.
Just go.
Do you want to just film this regular? Do you want to just? Yeah, we
should.
We're all right. We're gonna stop streaming. Wait, you can film on yours, right? Okay. We're ending this, and I'm just gonna film it regularly on my thing. Okay.
You should just give him the phone to film it regularly. I don't need to be streaming. How many people are in there?
96.
No. We can do both. I'll film it regularly from my end too.
I think it's better if he just holds like that.
So you want to just film it on your phone? You can just send me the file afterwards too, right?
I don't have any battery or space.
But you have the on YouTube, so you can send me the link.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, whatever. That's fine.
Fuck it. Let's just whatever. I'll have it just so I have a backup. I don't care. I'll do it this way. All right.
Oh yeah, you gotta do it before I think you film.
Do you? Yeah, we do.
Yeah.
All right. Anyway, YouTube disconnected us on my live stream. The anti-Semitism is real. We're just gonna film the rest of this regular and then kind of clump everything together, figure all this out. But anyway, you got into predator catching.
Yes.
And that's what made you stop. That made you stop playing football.
Yeah, because I was thinking I was just gonna do 2 years anyway and go become a police officer. Like unless I was like thinking, oh, I'm gonna go to the NFL, which that was a very, very, very small possibility in my mind. It was just, okay, I'm just going to do my 2 years, go to the police academy, because, I don't want to do school anymore. My God, I was 18 at that point, and I just said, screw this. I can't just keep sitting in a freaking classroom just doing this all day, so I had to go do something.
Okay. Question, though. What made you want to start predator catching? How did predator catching start?
Well, it always goes back to wanting to be a police officer. I've always wanted to get bad guys off the streets, and I just kind of got into these videos when football, when spring ball ended, and
this was during your freshman year?
Yeah, end of my freshman year.
End of your freshman year. You're getting ready for your for spring in the sun. For your sophomore year, right?
Yeah,
spring ball
for sophomore year.
Okay.
Yeah, and I just got into this stuff. Looked very interesting to do. And I was like, you know what? There's no way there's this many of these predators out there, and boy, was I so wrong about that.
You were mistaken. There were a lot of pedos.
I wish I was like right about the pedos and wrong about the vaccine, but turns out I was wrong about the pedos and right about the vaccine, and now the world's gone to shit.
And now this episode's probably going to get censored, thanks.
Yes.
Although the vaccine is very safe and effective, Dr. Fauci is great. I love Bill Gates. You know, nothing is wrong with this. Jeffrey Epstein was actually a good guy, and his friends all want you to wear masks and get vaccinated. So that's what I have to say about that. Please follow science. These are
and I was right about the vaccine because I knew it would be safe and effective at doing what Bill Gates wants it to do.
Yes.
Anything but population control.
No, well, it's about fighting climate change. And reducing our carbon footprint.
Absolutely.
And we're the carbon that needs to be reduced from this earth.
Reducing footprints in general, but
yeah. Maybe we'll just put this on BitChute. Maybe we'll just put this on BitChute.
Yeah, now you're glad you're not live streaming it right now.
Oh God, yeah, that'd be canceling everything. Yeah. Oh boy. Anyway. Okay, but what made you say, like, how did you decide to? Because this is a pretty exhaustive process. Like, how does the process of pedo catching even work? This is what I'm curious about. Like, how does this even go down? Like, how does it start? What do you do? How do you lure these guys in? Like, what made you say yo, I'm gonna go how do you know which app to go into? Like, how do you not do any of that stuff?
Well, that's the thing. You don't even have to lure them in. They do it themselves. I get that question a lot, and of course, I know what you mean, but I got to make it very clear: we do not lure them in because there's no need to. These people are depraved. They're not even okay. Whatever, I see a hot girl walking down the street, whatever. I'm not going to go pursue her endlessly and needlessly, even though I'm attracted to her. But these people are attracted to kids, but they don't stop at just, oh, she's cute, but I better not. Like a lot of us do when we see a nice woman walking down the street. They see the kid, they pursue and pursue and pursue and pursue, even when we don't respond, even when they ignore. So they easily make them, they lure themselves in. But we put out a fake profile representing ourselves as a kid. We either use a picture of an adult from when they were younger. For example, that's primarily what we do with this girl named Ashley. She's 25. We use her pictures that are all over her Facebook from 12, 13 years ago. And then we also use this app called Face App to make me and you, even we could appear super young. And we just throw these profiles up on social media representing ourselves as younger. People message us, and from there, we just say we're in their area. They think there's a kid in their area they want to go meet. For sex, usually. Well, not usually, all the fucking time. And then we go film the interaction on camera, turn into cops, and oftentimes it leads to an arrest.
Which is pretty awesome. I think it's actually heroic what you guys are doing.
You've been on two of them.
I went on two of them, and it was such an amazing honor. It's such an honor to even be on both of them. The first one I think I did a lot. The second one I kind of was just there holding the camera.
Right.
But I think that all changes depending on which ones you go on and all that stuff.
Yeah. I mean, you can't. There's no blanket way to deal with these people. I mean, they all have the same tendencies, but each one is a different individual based on their experiences, what drugs they do, and how they react to shit. So.
A lot of very weird, depraved stuff. And so, how do you make, because I'm sure people accuse you of entrapment and accuse you of stuff like that. How do you make it clear that you are not doing any of those things and you actually secure convictions? Because you have a pretty high, what's your conviction rate? Do you know?
Well, and the people that actually go to court, go through nobody's ever been found not guilty. So I guess
100.
In that sense, it would be 100. But there are people. For example, there's this and this is why the laws matter. There's law in Oklahoma called McGirt versus Oklahoma. It was a court case, and basically in eastern Oklahoma, the Indian tribes determine whether the charges are pressed or not. So we had a guy arrested in eastern Oklahoma in a town called Choteau, and he was absolutely sick, and the Indians ended up dropping the charges that he had. For what reason? Probably to get back at the white kids there, but I don't know.
So it was an Indian guy, a Native American that you got.
No, he wasn't even Native. That was the crazy part. His last name was Schneider. He was the most skinhead neo-Nazi name you could have.
And so why did they drop the charges?
Well, they probably knew he was going to go terrorize eastern Oklahoma for however long, so they, revenge. That's the only thing I can think of.
That's kind of crazy.
Right.
Okay. But you present mountains of evidence to police officers before you even confront the predator, right?
Right. Never as a court determined that we had trapped anybody, because most of the time they take plea deals. For example, we have a conviction today. This video is on Rumble if you want to type in predator poachers. This individual in Illinois by the name of Robert Vaughn, he got sentenced to 15 months, which is ridiculously high for Illinois. And
that's kind of crazy too. They're also doing the purge now.
Right.
They're also literally going to let out a bunch of violent criminals in January.
Yep, and he has to register as a sex offender. So secured.
And he was like 7 feet tall.
7 feet tall.
He actually was officially 7 feet tall.
He was huge. He made me look. You couldn't do a convos on the pedicab with this guy.
He was that big. Oh my
Yeah.
god. What a that's demented. Could you imagine like a guy like that terrorizing children?
Oh, I mean, sadly, seems like most of the girls in Astoria, Illinois, had to deal with that. So.
And he was going after like teenage girls or preteens or what?
Well, he was going after our 11-year-old, but I
That's
think
disgusting. Okay, so he's going after children.
yeah.
You have a really good way of confronting these people. You are like, because I watch a lot of videos online of these people, and a lot of the predator poachers, they will either be really timid or really aggressive. You have a perfect middle ground. How did you get this? How did you develop the strategy?
Well, I mean, traveling the country doing this, detectives from all over scrutinize our videos and give us constructive criticism. And when they tell you, like, hey, you said this, but instead you should say this, or hey, try this next time, or just when we're like, we're in the police station, our video's downloading or something, we're shooting the shit with the detectives. They'll tell you something like, hey, I typically ask them this when I do this. And I'm like, oh, okay, cool. So you make a mental note of that. And because you realize, like, all of these people are better than me at what we do.
Supposedly, they should be. They should be better than you at what you do.
Yeah, I mean, if I'm taking stuff from them, they obviously know their shit, and I'm just learning. And, when you combine all that, then I think you can turn out to be pretty good because, these people are experts at it. And, they're not like, the science. They're, like, actually experts at it without any like bribes or anything to be that way. And but no, I realized it myself though, with this guy named Fred Hendricks in Oregon who's currently serving a 3.5-year sentence. He was just very honest, probably the most honest predator we've ever confronted. Besides this dude named Christopher Todd, he's also getting sentenced soon. He basically was spilling the beans about all these people he molested, and then I was like, dude, you're just sick. And then he's like, wait a minute, I'm telling you all this stuff. Why are you calling me sick? And I'm like, oh, yeah, you're right. It's just shocking to me. And that's when I realized, like, if you berate them with that type of stuff and start blaming them for things, they're going to shut the fuck up.
Exactly. And one of the things that you do that's really smart is that the predator is always, like, the predator is never going to be younger than what they are. I mean, the kid is never going to be younger than what they've gone after. So, the catch that we went on, there was this really creepy looking homeless guy who sounded like Boomhauer from King of the Hill, and he was really aggressively soliciting a 13-year-old, so much so that a special agent from like the FBI called us.
Yeah.
About the messages, right? And you came up to him and you said, listen, like, I know that if she was like 12 years old, you wouldn't even want to talk to her, right? And he was like, yeah, I would never want to talk to her if she's 12 years old. And I think that's a really good strategy. Or you just ask, like, well, would you talk to her if she was 12 or 11?
Right.
What would you do? And then the guy says, no, I wouldn't do that. And then they're more comfortable talking. Like, well, good. I'm glad that you have some principles. I'm glad you have some back. I know you would never do anything with a child or an infant. You always make them seem like they're good people for not being more scummy than they are. Right.
And of course, they would go after those ages. Like, maybe not everybody going after a 13-year-old will go after an infant, but they would absolutely go after 11 and 12. And, it's just basically all about minimizing what they do, just making them seem like it was just a simple mistake. Or sometimes if they have a big enough ego, you just don't even call it a mistake. You're truly like curious about what they do. Like this guy in Arkansas, John Cox. John loves Cox because he was bisexual.
Well, he's gonna love Cox in prison.
Yes, he will. Absolutely. John L. Cox. He freaking. At first he was like a little timid to talk. I mean, more open than most, but still not fully giving over everything. But when you're like kind of interested in what he's doing, like, oh wow, okay. So how did this happen? Oh, you were their mentor? Oh, that's awesome. So how did you teach them about sex? That's when he's like, oh, I did this, I did that, I did this and that, and like they just spill it.
Yeah, I think another good strategy to do is say like, hey, listen, like we have mountains of evidence. Okay, we have phone calls, we have messages, we have recordings of you doing this, a whole multitude of stuff. We'd rather talk to you instead of talking to the cops.
Yeah, well, I can't really bring up cops. I haven't done that in like probably a little.
You can't do that. Okay.
Close to over a year because they can. No, most of the time they'll still take plea deals, but. Like, if they get arrested and, they actually hire an attorney and the attorney sees that we brought up cops, they can say, oh, you blackmailed him into saying this. So So that's why we just say, like, instead of that, be like, oh, well, I'm just reminding you that I have all these papers right here, and I just want to have a conversation with you about them, and that's what will get them to do it without any blackmail.
Okay, I'm just reminding you that I have this. I'd rather you talk. Yeah, and I just want to talk to you so we can clear the air.
Right.
I'm sure this is probably a misunderstanding. We just want to talk so we can clear the air.
Exactly.
And it's smart. I don't see anybody else doing that aside from you.
Well,
and you keep your cool really well, because a lot of people want to, like, I'm seeing you do this, and I'm like, I want to kill this motherfucker. Like, you know, you look at somebody like that. These are the worst people in the world.
Yeah. Yeah, even murderers can be justified in some type of way, at least to some people. But
you can't justify that.
You can't justify
any capacity. You cannot justify
ever.
that in any capacity.
Ever.
Has anybody ever tried to intimidate you?
Like the predators?
Yes.
Oh, absolutely. In Colorado, we were confronting these one brother. The other brother's like, I look at little girls' gymnastics too. It doesn't make me bad. Like, all right, well,
they were both doing it together, or one guy was caught.
One guy was caught. The other one probably should be caught by somebody.
Not you, but
right.
Somebody else.
Yeah, but the whole time, the other brother, he was like in the doorway, so you couldn't see him on film. He was holding on to a gun the whole time. Not in his pocket, not nothing. He was holding it in his fucking hand, not pointing at me, but holding it in his hand. And he's like, basically, if you put that camera, I'm gonna blow you off. I'm gonna blow it off. Like they were insane.
How do you react to that? Because that's pretty scary.
I mean, it was in Colorado, so I just kind of made jokes saying, "Oh, I'm from Texas, dude. How do you guys do it out here with you? How do you guys do it in liberal land here? Just basically building rapport like that, because they're obviously gun toters, so just go with that angle."
I mean, that's smart. And also, you're live streaming, and you just say, "Hey guys, well, we're just filming because we don't, we're filming for our safety to make sure nothing happens to me, and also so that you feel safe too, so you can't say that we tried to hurt you." And then you're reminded that they're being filmed and it's going live. It's not a good look to just shoot somebody live on.
Right. I mean, in part it is for safety reasons, because there are actually predators that have told the cops, like, "Oh, these people assaulted me. Oh, they hit me."
I saw one of your videos where you did that, where one guy in Burnet, Texas, accused you of trying to jump him.
Right.
And he was crying with a little squeaky voice.
Oh, that was just so entertaining. But yeah, I mean, stuff like that. And so, we do film for safety reasons, but, I also want my YouTube content.
You want the YouTube, well, and you're great at it. Like, I love the little jokes that you make at these people, like, halfway through. Like, you're good at getting them to open up, but then, like, the more, like, you're real cool with them in the beginning, and then, like, the more they talk to you, the more of a dick, the more you start roasting them, because you already have enough evidence to show to the cop anyway, so it doesn't really matter at that point.
Yeah, it depends on the predator. Like the high IQ ones that will get the jokes, you don't really want to say too much to them, because they'll like, "Dude, you're making fun of me. Fuck you. I'm going to stop talking." But trash can man, the pedo in Bloomington, he was obviously like, you just roast him about, about that really when you get it.
But dude, that guy probably did some stuff and molested his like younger daughter. You could tell, like, that guy looks like the fucking greasy old man that abused his kids.
Yeah, he absolutely did.
He looks exactly like that type of stereotypical "my dad abused me" type of guy, who, and now his daughter is Brandy the stripper.
Yeah, I think so.
That's literally that's the personification of that.
That's what he looks like.
He does, like, to a T, right?
Yeah.
To a fucking T.
Including like the stained shirt and like the unzipped sweater and stuff. Pretty accurate.
Yeah, it was so crazy. And like the gas station lady was like, "Oh yeah, he comes in the gas station all the time."
Yeah, I know. She basically got the cash for us.
She was kind of a hero.
Yeah, absolutely. Not all clerks wear capes, but they're all heroes.
That clerk was a legitimate hero.
Huh, we should call her Clerk Kent.
Oh, that's good. I like that.
Yeah, Superwoman.
She is pretty super. So how are you doing with your newfound fame?
Oh man, I've been around the block, dude. I don't want to say fame, just say getting more known. I don't know. Just got to keep working hard and keep going. Never be sad. Always happy, never satisfied.
That's how I feel. Be happy because you're doing your best to do the right thing. But there's always more. We have this. We have a gift, I think, both of us. But it's also kind of a curse, where nothing is ever enough, and we'll never be able to stop working. And I think it's going to be very difficult. I think we're both going to be forever climbing a mountain that we'll never get to the top of.
Yeah, my girlfriend tells me to take days off all the time, and I'm like,
my girlfriend and I have been together for 6 years. She gets mad because I've never able to spend any time with her, and it's she's right. But there's also so much stuff that I have to do. I'm like, bro, like babe, I gotta fight tyranny. Like legitimately, you have to fight tyranny. We gotta get this pedophile. I mean, this is for you, right? And maybe I don't want to do more of this, but like, I gotta get this pedophile off the street. Like, I gotta stop. Yeah, like I gotta stop this government corruption happening at a massive level, and I have the ability to actually use my voice to do something. Like I get to stop trannies from reading to little children and performing in front of them. Like, and people are listening to me. Like, I have to do that because one day we're gonna have kids, and if I don't do this now, then I'll never be able to stop working. I'll be a perpetual hamster wheel runner for nobody.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think a lot of people, especially kind of near your age, maybe a little bit older, my mom's age, she's 53, they have this attitude. Like, they see what's going on, especially my mom. She sees what's going on. She complains about it to me, yet she does nothing. Not crapping on my mom. I mean, of course, she did a great job raising me and shit.
Oh yeah, I mean, look at you. Yeah, of course.
But like, you know, she says like 1 out of 3 of her friends now have quote unquote trans kids. I'm like, oh, okay. Did you call them out for their delusions? And she's like, well, no. I'm like, all right, well, there you go. It's gonna keep happening then. And you know, because we've been like taught in this society, you have to be just tolerant. Just be tolerant. Tolerance isn't a good or bad thing, because you can be tolerant to murderers, and you can be intolerant to rapists. So, you know, they just preach like tolerance automatically equals good, and if you're intolerant of something, then you're automatically not good. And people fell for it.
And this stuff is also creating like more bigotry and more homophobia.
Oh hell yeah!
I think because like to be honest, like, do you think there's anything wrong with being gay? Just being like a regular adult gay dude that's just gay with other adult gay guys and is fabulous but doesn't do anything with any kids.
Yeah, I mean, I personally don't have an issue with that.
Don't care, right?
Right.
Don't care. My favorite coffee shop that I go to is in a gay district, and everybody serving me is fucking fruity as fuck. Do not care. I have no problems with them.
You put like a dog mask on instead and just walk in there?
No, this is my monkeypox mask.
Oh, okay.
No, but like, I don't care. I did an episode with one of the baristas who's openly gay and openly unvaccinated, and we had like a really good episode. And he was awesome. He was really cool, right? But now you have these like drag queens reading to kids. You have like family-friendly drag shows. You have like sexualization of children. It's always through like drag or somebody who's being trans. You have hospitals that are performing surgeries on children. You have teachers that are telling, that are trying to tell as many parents that as many of their kids are trans as they can legally do without raising a red flag, because pharma companies give money to teachers unions at insane rates, and you can never find out exactly what the number is, or if they even do that, because these 501c3, these unions are like 501c3s, and they don't have to disclose what their donations are.
Oh, gosh.
And so you're seeing all of these things, and it's being lumped in with LGBTQ ideology, and as a result of all of these other factors, you're just creating homophobia, because now gay people are being associated with all of this bullshit that they never wanted to be associated with.
Well, I mean, that's
If that makes sense.
I mean, yeah, of course. I mean, that's the same thing with Jews. Like when we have Weinstein, Epstein, Wiener, whatever,
Yeah.
Soros. Yeah, unless people like me and you get really loud about it, like, because the Muslims do a great job of this. They do a great job of saying, hey, man, look, that Boston bombing, we have nothing to do with that. Fuck those people, they're fake Muslims. But what do Jews and a lot of gay people do? You're just anti-us for calling out George Soros. You're just anti-us for calling out, Hollywood or Weinstein, whatever. And, that's why, I love gays against groomers.
I like that guy too. Yeah, that's
I think
awesome.
that's a great thing. Because, yeah, I mean, I've been saying this for a while. The sane gays, if that's even a thing, they get to stand up. They need to stand up and just say, hey, look, this tranny stuff to kids, we don't endorse this crap, okay? We just like to do that sodomy in the bedroom. That's it. We don't like to do it with kids or any of that garbage. Stand up and say it. Just like me and you got to stand up and say, hey, man, fuck George Soros,
Well, which we do.
Right,
and
right.
And when we openly criticize central banks, I had a guest on who's Jewish, who's in charge of who's a head of business development at a Bitcoin-based crowd health company where people can do voluntarism through healthcare.
Yeah.
I'm not explaining it very well, but
basically they all pay into it.
They all pay into it, and then you have a portion of your money goes towards like crowdfunding other people's medical bills.
Right.
So you pay like $1.75 a month, and like $100 of those dollars every month goes to helping other people, and they just send you one notice a month or two a month for like $100 donation to just help somebody, and they give you a score based on how generous you are, and so your generosity score determines if like something bad happens to you, it gets reciprocated.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So it's like pretty basic, pretty decentralized. They don't really know too much about you except for how generous you are with helping people.
Right.
But that guy was Jewish also, and a big Bitcoiner. The Chabad rabbi in Austin is a Bitcoiner. Okay, you know what I mean? Like, and if you're a Bitcoiner, you're actively anti-central bank.
Yeah, I mean,
So-
like the people that need to be amplified shouldn't be like in our Jew thing. It shouldn't be George Soros and Harvey Weinstein and Epstein. Like it shouldn't be those shouldn't be the people
That we
we're
associate
defending.
Judaism with, and
Right,
that's what's happening,
right.
and that's a huge problem.
It should be like Peter Schiff.
Leadership, good at. Max Kaiser might be Jewish too. I don't know if he is or not.
Yeah, I'm trying to find other like we gotta find some good ones.
Me and you, Alex Stein.
Yeah. Yeah, Stein's lumped in with us. He can't.
Yeah,
I don't care what he says.
What he says exactly. I told him this. I was like, listen, dude, like you'd be in the same concentration camp with me if you were alive in Germany in the 1940s, dude. You're a Jew whether you like it or not, bro.
Dude,
You know?
not that, dude. Okay, dude, okay, whatever. I'm just gonna call you. I'm gonna call you back, dude. I'm gonna call you back.
That's it. Yeah.
Stein.
Love that guy. He's
Yeah.
a man, but it's the truth.
Yes.
You know, the three Alexes, three Jews from Texas are fighting tyranny. You know, but I do think like the reaction to Kanye West is creating more hatred. It's creating more anti-Semitism. The best thing you could do is just make jokes about it.
Of course. Yeah. Absolutely. It's just. Oh my God.
You do have a lot of record executives who are Jewish, who happen to be Jewish or happen to call themselves Jews. Not even Jewish. They call themselves Jews. Okay.
Right.
Just like a bunch of oil executives who destroy rainforests and fund wars in the Middle East call themselves Christians. They are not Christian.
Right.
Right? They're Satan worshipers who call themselves Christian, okay? And it's the same thing with these like high-level record executives or these central bankers that debase currency and put money into oblivion and make people overwhelmingly poor at the expense of a few of their cronies. It has nothing to do with your religion. It's just the fact that you're calling yourself that and it just creates hatred.
Right. Of course, and I think it's all on purpose. Like I think the more division they can have, like that's why they're so anti-gays against groomers. Like the powers that be, they're so anti-gays against groomers because they want to say, oh, stop homophobia, stop this, stop that, but they want it because they want everybody to be divided.
Yes.
So when someone like Gays Against Groomers comes along and says, hey man, we disavow all shit towards children that's evil, we disavow it. And we're just regular gay people. We do shit behind closed doors in our bedroom. Yeah, they don't like that message being spread.
They also want white supremacy and all that stuff to come back because that's an excuse to bring the war on terror home. And I think the reason that they don't like people like us is because we're literally telling people, hey guys, don't do that. Do not take the bait. Do not target someone or judge somebody because they are different from you. There's nothing wrong with that. They are trying to amplify differences to turn you into a terrorist. Do not take the bait. And they're trying to do the same thing with Kanye. Like, they shouldn't be look, what Kanye said was just mostly false. Obviously, he has some mental illnesses based on what he's saying.
What do you even say?
It's a Jewish media, Me Tooing the Jewish culture. Jews do this, Jews do that. Like, there's a lot of stuff. And he talked about how a Jewish doctor is the reason he had to seek mental health because of his MAGA hat and stuff. And I get it. You're angry because of how you had some personal experiences that happened to you. I get it. I'm not judging you. I don't think they should be debanking you. I don't think they should cancel you. I don't think any of that stuff should happen to you. I'll probably buy some Yeezys. I don't care, right? I'm still a Kanye fan. I just think that, it's disappointing that you're making bold statements without really. If you're gonna make a bold statement like that, you should really have every single fact laid out meticulously so that you can justify it in any single context, which he doesn't seem to have. And also, the canceling him is it's martyring him, and it's not gonna put us in danger. We're actively fighting tyranny and fighting for freedom and fighting to be in America, right? But you got family members who aren't as active as you, and that could put a family, some of that stuff could put a family member or a friend of yours or somebody you went to BBYO with, and that is something that should be looked at.
Well, I think with Kanye, I mean, he's spewing a lot of crap. Sure, not 100% accurate. But you got to think, I mean, with victims of molestation, this shit bothers them years later. So think, Kanye has been on the inner circles of Hollywood for decades now. So think about what he saw and experienced. I mean, he's probably seen, I'm not buying that Kanye was never in that whole, child sacrifice stuff. I think he absolutely was. Do I think he may be trying to break away from it now? Maybe. But seeing all that crap in front of you, because, dude, even... we know people that were in Hollywood, and they told me that they were supposed to go to a party, and they found out that kids were in cages as sex objects at that party. And luckily their driver didn't find the house, but when they heard that was going down, they disassociated with the person that invited them there. So Kanye has seen way more than that. I'm going to say it's probably surface level shit in Hollywood. So of course his mind's going to be fucked up and he's going to be all over the place when he's basically trying to explain this stuff, and it's just basically unexplainable because I don't think anybody's ever seen it unless you've been on those inner circles. And I think I think he's holding back a lot too, because if he truly said what he's seen in Hollywood, I mean, he would be dead for sure.
Yeah, or they would just be canceling him exactly the same way that he's being canceled right now.
Maybe, yeah. That's a possibility.
They just martyr him. They just blackball him completely.
Right.
So I see that. Also, he used to rap about selling his soul to the devil all the time in his older albums.
Yeah, I definitely. I don't know what's going on, but I know he was in those inner circles and seen some nasty shit. So I'm sure that's why.
Speaking of Hollywood celebrities and rock stars, how'd you become friends with the guy from Slayer?
Well, you blew the cover on Who Told the Story.
Ah!
Yeah. But, well, I mean, they just watched the channel, and, the lead singer and his wife, and they're just great supporters of us, and she hit me up saying, hey, we live kind of close to you, and, we just had dinner one time, them and the crew, and we hit it off. So ever since then, we've been pretty damn close friends. She even calls me her adopted son now, so it's great.
I saw that. No, I actually had the privilege of coming to one of those dinners. It was a pretty awesome experience. Like, you would never have guessed that these guys were, that this was a famous rock star.
No, he's very down to earth. I just think of him as like an ordinary person that's done extraordinary things. He's very, very, very like pure-blooded for sure. I mean, he's off X, but very, very pure guy for sure.
Yeah, just a very kind person.
Yep.
Like, welcomed us into his home. Was very quiet, very nice. Like,
yeah.
He was giving me advice on my songs, like on cadence and stuff. Just talking to me about it.
Really?
Yeah, he was.
That's great advice. I mean, from him, like he's.
Yeah, you better listen to him.
Yeah,
I have to actually play the Cypress Hill for this Ukrainian song and really get on that.
Yeah.
But it's pretty intense. And I don't want to go too much into this, or if you don't feel comfortable talking about it, like you don't have to. But what kind of has he told you any other crazy stories about like what things were like?
Basically, besides him like being on the road, how Slayer all started, nothing too much. But I'm sure he'd be on your podcast.
I would love to have him on.
I'm sure he would.
That would be intense.
I'm sure he would.
He probably would. Yeah, that'd be really cool. Because I've seen a lot of documentaries about how like musicians have to actually sell their soul and sign contracts in blood.
Oh, I asked him about that. Yeah, I asked him about that. All I'm gonna say is he told me he didn't, but I think that's something you should ask him. I'm not gonna put any words.
Because you're in a death metal band where there was a lot of satanic lyrics in that music too, and there's a lot of Satanism in heavy metal.
Yeah. I'm not gonna like speak for him or anything besides saying that he told me that he did not do it. So, I mean, I guess that's white pilling to know that you don't have to do that to make it big. But I'm sure, he told me some more stuff besides that. But I think that you should probably just ask him that.
I'd love to, man. I could probably get into contact with him pretty easily.
Yeah.
Or if he ever comes to Austin, that'd be cool. We got Slayer on the Pedicab.
For
that'd
sure.
Be pretty fun.
Oh, yeah.
That'd be pretty awesome. So what was it like when you went on InfoWars? How was that? You went from being in a state-of-the-art studio to being on a tricycle with surrounded by bugs and insects, using a live stream that wasn't working, with me being on the phone with my girlfriend about my laundry machine leaking, and here
Well, I'm just a man of the people, man. I'm like, I don't know. I mean, InfoWars knows who you are, so it's not that bad, But yeah, it was just a surreal experience. I mean, I've been watching InfoWars, off and on since I was 14 years old, and I never would have thought I'd be actually on their show in studio. So it was very, very humbling. And Owen is a very fucking cool guy. Sadly, didn't get to meet Alex today, but I will one day.
They invited you in the truck.
Yes, the famous InfoWars truck, the Humvee. Owen invited me to go take a spin in that next protest.
Oh boy, I'm going to one of their content creators' weddings, on the wedding party on Saturday actually. going to Rachel Ray from the Liberty Broadcast invited me and Vanessa to her wedding.
Nice.
Or the wedding party. I'm sure I could probably get invited to the wedding if I wanted to, but yeah,
Fuck
still
that.
pretty
Just
cool.
go to the party.
I'm excited. Jester King, baby. Let's go. Let's go. So how did you meet like Cassidy and Stein?
Well, gosh, in 2019, Cassidy Campbell just popped up in one of my live streams, and Cassidy was my favorite YouTuber when I was in high school. I would like watch his shit almost every day, and he just popped into one of my streams, and I was like, I started fanboying, and we got in touch, and we've been friends ever since. And as for Stein, I just met him through Cassidy March this year.
So he just popped into one of your live. He like literally just started coming. He just wound up in one of your live streams when you were catching a predator.
I was shocked that my favorite YouTuber was just there. Yeah.
Dude, that's a guy who's changed his story arc completely.
Oh yeah.
Like he was doing prank videos that got him millions of views. He probably got a lot of money doing prank videos too.
Well, he lives in a pretty damn nice house, so I'd say so.
He does. I haven't been to his house, and he has like his family. And then all of a sudden, he just started. I want to talk to him about how he got like red pilled or white pilled or whatever it was. Like,
yeah, he was like apolitical at first.
That's Vic, dude. He pedicabs with us.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, Cassidy was like apolitical at first. Like, he didn't care one way or another, but just something. Gosh, I don't know. Then he became like all MAGA to basically more off the deep end than Alex Jones. I'm not saying Alex Jones is off the deep end, but figuratively speaking. And I don't know. Now he just became super hyper red pilled.
Hyper red pilled. Dude, yeah. So, some of us are a little too like. It's good to be based. Some of us are a little too based.
Yeah, he's based to the point where he doesn't think we're going to see him in the afterlife.
Oh boy. Oh well. Better make the most of this life.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh well. What are you gonna do? It's kind of weird, like with the way America is, right? If you like were to look at like how America was founded, you probably had like guys like us and guys like Cassidy were fighting together in like the American Revolution to free the colonies from tyranny.
Oh hell yeah!
And then when it came to a governance standpoint, it was like they had guys like us becoming the guys who governed, and then guys like Cassidy probably had the statues in the schools and the roads and the bridges named after them to thank them for their service because like George Washington, the people and the founders were like, yeah, you know what? They are heroes for creating this country, but maybe like we're better at governing it.
Right.
Maybe we'll actually be more free and more liberal with how we govern than somebody like that. If that makes sense.
Yeah, no, I see what you're saying for sure.
So I can see there being like, and I feel like you're seeing a resurrection of that right now, where you have like a lot of very like pro freedom people and a lot of very like hyper Christians that are kind of like uniting to like preserve America.
Oh, I'd much rather have a hyper Christian society than whatever we have now.
I agree, or a hyper Judeo Christian society.
Yeah, whatever. Doesn't matter to me.
I agree with you on that 1,000%. And I think that like there's a place for some of those values now. Like there actually is like a more of a place for some of those values more than I thought when I was younger. And I think that like
Definitely.
like when you have like more traditional values, like you're generally going to be healthier and happier because you guard your energy more. And like if you're with like one woman at a time, you're not drinking as much on the weekend, so you're not like you're not trying to get laid all the time, so you're not drinking as much, so you're putting better stuff into your body. You're probably dating women who are like a little bit more health conscious and more concerned with what they put in their body. They're probably better at dealing with adversity, so they're willing to like work through fights and problems with you. Even if you have fights all the time, they're gonna still at least work through those fights with you.
Right.
You're more likely to have like a closer knit community where you can like rely on one another for basic things. Whereas if you're just all you want to do is party and get instant gratification of a high time preference, whenever you need anything, nobody's going to really want to help because they're just trying to chase the next big rush.
Right.
There is a lot of that, and then like, if you have no discipline, you need discipline to have freedom, and all these values give you discipline to fight for freedom, right? Like. What we're doing, people look at us like we're clowns, dude. But we're not, man. We are like some of the hardest workers that you're gonna find. Next to the person that's building these next to the actual laborer who's building these buildings, like we're some of the hardest workers that you're gonna find. Like, when was the last time you took a day off?
I don't know. I really don't know.
You don't know, exactly. You wanna know when the last time I took a day off was? I don't fucking know either. probably 2 weeks ago, I went like fishing, and it wasn't even that much of a day off because I was still trying to figure out what I was gonna do.
Right. Dude, taking a day off is just boring.
Well, it's not even that. It's like you just can't do it. I'm like every time I do take a day off, all I'm thinking about is like wanting to do the next thing. Like I gotta go to Dallas. I gotta go to Dallas tomorrow to troll the county judge. Tomorrow morning and troll the county judge, and then I gotta either figure out if I hit up a city council meeting that evening, or if I can go to Hayes County and do a city council meeting for my buddy Luke. I just gotta figure out if I'll be able to get there in time with driving, depending on when this commissioner's court meeting ends. But like this never ends,
Never.
right? And if you like don't have discipline or don't have like that foundation, like you can't sustain that. You give up the slightest time somebody yells at you on the internet, you stop.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, shit. I'm like running on like 3 hours of sleep right now.
And you're freaking exhausted. And you
Yeah.
still have energy, and you still have energy.
Trying to.
So what's next on the agenda? What are you gonna do now?
The 2nd through the 12th, we're gonna be in the Northeast. We're gonna hit Canada, for the first time.
You're gonna go to Canada, bro. Oh shit! Without a vax card.
Without a vax card. I'm gonna go to Canada, and just go catch predators in the Northeast, then come back and catch more predators and troll more politicians if we can even do that now after the midterms.
I don't think you're gonna need. I think you're gonna take a little bit of a break in the clown. I think there's gonna be a bit of an intermission during the clown show.
Well, I think when Abbott wins, I'm not saying this because I like Greg Abbott. But,
Nobody likes Greg Abbott.
But when Abbott wins, there's going to be a big protest in Austin, so I'll try to make that.
You think there's gonna be a big protest?
There's going to be some backlash. That's what Owen thinks.
I mean, how many pro-abortion protests were there in Austin?
Oh man, I don't know. I went to
Not
the
that,
DC one.
there wasn't that many though. Not that many. But tell me about that.
Well, yeah, I mean, we went to a bunch of pro-abortion protests in DC, and these people are nuts. They let me actually have the mic one time, and
I saw that. You were a trans person who wanted an abortion.
yeah, and they just clap at whatever they're so stupid. But yeah, I think DC is gonna have some pretty big stuff, so maybe we'll hit DC.
I think you're gonna get some protests in DC with the midterms.
Yes.
Although I don't know, because if it's that overwhelming, people are just like, if Democrats aren't voting, if like left-leaning people aren't voting, then you can only protest if people want to protest.
Right. I don't know. Maybe hit like Brazil or something. I don't know.
Yeah, right.
Who knows?
Oh boy. I think you're gonna have. I think the protests you have, there'll be something, but it's gonna be on a much smaller scale than you've seen in a long time.
Yeah.
It'll be very small scale protests.
No, these past 2 years have been very this is probably the most tense. I've only been living here for 22 years because I'm only 22, but this has been the most tense it's felt like in my life
ever. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. You were, how old were you in 9/11? You were like 1, right? Were you born in 2000, bro?
March 15th, 2000.
Dude, you weren't even born in the 90s. Oh my God, you're a full blown like okay. Wow. I was born in 86. Okay, so I was in high school when 9/11 happened.
Jeez.
I was in high school when 9/11 happened, and I always found it weird that they had a camera like ready by that building right before, like they already had a camera ready to record.
Oh, you thought that the day of?
Yeah, I was like, why is there a camera recording this in live time as it's happening right off the bat? Like they knew where to put the camera.
I mean,
that's kind of weird.
You were like in New York City.
In New York City.
Did you like feel threatened that day at all?
No, I was like, I didn't know anything about politics. I was just excited I was gonna get the day off from school, and like I was gonna go play I was just like, all I wanted to do was go play basketball. And like I remember I stayed at my friend Andrew's house and we just talked about the NBA like that night. And then we had 2 days off from school that day, like right afterwards.
Uh-huh.
And I was just in the park playing basketball. People were just making jokes about terrorists and stuff like that the entire time. Like it wasn't even like.
Oh my God.
Well, I also didn't know anybody that was in the towers, so people that were, it was really sad.
Did you know people who knew people?
One of my English teachers had a her fiance was at the time worked there. He was fine, but she was really scared during that day. That's what I heard later. But I didn't know anybody who like actually died or got hit from that.
Okay.
But there's a lot of weird stuff from that. Like we don't need to go balls deep into like the truth behind 9/11, but it did lead to a lot of stuff, and we're seeing the reverberations of what 9/11, of the aftermath of 9/11. We're seeing that right now.
Yeah.
It's very scary. You're seeing people like us getting targeted with these laws that got placed to protect us from terrorists. It's dangerous.
Yeah.
and it kind of, once you learn about like how 9/11 affected us and what happened as a result of it, it became a lot harder to believe the narrative when it came to this virus. Even right off the bat, I'm like, wait a minute, they lied about so much stuff. Why should I maybe I should take a step back and stop getting caught up in the hype. Like, why are you presenting news and broadcasting things on this level so soon, if not because there's an agenda? So, when I was telling people, like, hey guys, dial this back, we shouldn't have lockdowns, this might not be correct, and I'm getting attacked from all angles, it kind of made me think, like, oh no, I'm just like the people that called 9/11 back in 2001. Because when Alex Jones was calling out 9/11 right off the bat, and can you imagine what it must have been like to be Alex Jones calling out 9/11 in 2001?
Right. Yeah, no, he's not even as known then either.
Yeah. He wasn't. He was a local person in Austin. He was literally probably a guy just like me. Where Alex Jones was in 2001, he was probably not that far off from where you are right now.
Well, I don't know.
If that makes sense from where you, not me. I still got to catch up. But he's not that far off from where we are right now. And so can you imagine somebody like that before social media, before all this information came about, criticizing the narrative about 9/11 right when this is happening in real time?
Yeah, it's pretty nuts. Yeah, I mean, I think with the whole COVID stuff, I drank the Kool-Aid for maybe like a month because I wasn't there to like debug 9/11 when I was a kid, right? But I probably drank it for like a month, and I was like, I called my mom frantic, like, oh my god, they're making me deliver pizza during a pandemic.
Oh, what? What? You were nervous about it?
This was like in March 2020.
Oh boy, okay, I want to hear this. This is interesting.
Yeah.
You made fun of me for voting for Bernie twice, and fucking calling your mom about delivering pizza to. Oh man.
Yeah. But it kind of started to click for me though. Like, so I was at Kroger and we were like, I was doing some hoarding grocery shopping.
Okay.
And this guy was about to be done with the self checkout, so I just go up to the self checkout where he is, and he's like, "Hey, dude, 6 feet." And then at that point, I was like, "Okay, come on, really?" And then then it got to like May 2020, and I'm like, "Okay, hey man, we just gotta open up." And when Abbott opened up, quote unquote prematurely, I was like, "Dude, finally, let's just fuck this shit. Fuck these lockdowns. They're useless. They're not doing anything. Nothing's happening." And then, I just stopped wearing. I mean, I barely wore the mask. And even when they gave the mask to us to deliver pizza, I was like thinking about putting it on. I put it on, and I'm like, fuck this. I'm just gonna take it off. And ever since then, I just never wore the mask unless I was really forced to. Like, I'm banned from United Airlines because I didn't wear a mask on the plane.
Wow. They banned the guy who caught Osama bin Laden too from flying because he didn't want to wear a mask.
Oh my god. But yeah, I mean, so just that. And now, I mean, I'm finally being me and you both are being vindicated because we were right though pretty much the whole time.
I mean, I'm still wearing a mask, Alex.
Well, I mean, it's over your nose and mouth too.
Yeah,
so
obviously, yeah. It identifies as being over it. My nose and mouth.
Oh, it's literally over it. Like
I wore this mask during COVID. That was my mask.
Well, I mean, looks good.
Thank you. I'm following. It's for your grandmother.
Good. Thank you so much.
Yeah, of course. But yeah, a lot. Have you lost friends or family members, touch of family members because of all how you thought of these things?
No.
I don't really talk to my sister very much anymore because of all this stuff.
Well, okay. I was this was before COVID though. My middle brother, me and him are not close because he's just off the deep end with, and I'm going to say with his conspiracy theories, because it's a conspiracy theory that tyranny will never come here. Yet Trump was Hitler. It's a conspiracy theory that you're fighting fascism by censoring speech. That's a conspiracy theory. It's a conspiracy theory that he thinks we shouldn't even have a country, and that he thinks the concept of borders is bullshit. His radical conspiracy theories have really put a wedge in between us, a border per se.
Those are actually, Russia stole the election.
Yeah.
Conspiracy theory.
His
voter suppression is undermining democracy. Or not having a ballot drop box on every 3 blocks and letting people vote at 3 a.m. is voter suppression. That's a conspiracy theory, bro.
Right. And most of my friends are minorities, and every single one of them has been able to vote. So I don't really know where the suppression's coming in. Maybe they're whitewashed or something, and they show at the polls that they're like, I don't know. I don't really see any voter suppression anywhere. But,
yeah, I think it's all bullshit.
Right, and just so you know,
if anything, it's too easy to vote.
Yeah,
It's
that can be like a 2-hour conversation. Voting rights are bullshit.
Yeah, it's
But,
too easy to vote, bro. Come on.
But yeah, it's just it's so weird. For the COVID shot, no, they've never said like, oh, well, we can't give the COVID shot. We're underserving minorities because they can't produce IDs with the COVID shot. It's like, have you ever heard them say like, oh, you shouldn't have to have your ID for the COVID shot?
We're definitely putting this on Rumble and BitChute.
Yes.
This is not going on YouTube.
But like, the COVID shots, they've never said like there's COVID shot suppression and that minorities can't get their shots or boosters. But you have to have an ID to get the COVID shot, I would assume, because you have the card, right? But with voting, suddenly nobody can do it, and then nobody has an ID. It's just such a farce. At the Bernie rally, I don't know if you picked up on this, but when that Greg Casar, we're gonna be on Rumble, right?
I think so, yeah.
When that Greg Casar faggot was like,
I gotta put this on Rumble and BitChute and Float and all the other decentralized apps.
When
YouTube doesn't deserve. YouTube does not deserve this episode.
Right. When he was like, well, we made it illegal to where students can, university students can provide their student ID to go vote in Texas. Well, why would they need to do that? Why doesn't everybody just have a driver's license? Well, the reason is because illegal immigrants go to university and they can show their ID and vote. It's such bullshit. It's just sad that an illegal immigrant can vote in Washington D.C. before I can vote in Washington D.C. I mean, if you think about it, we should be able to go to Washington and go vote in their election.
Why don't we do that? It's for the next election, right? We should take a trip to Washington D.C. and try to vote.
Yeah.
We should just say we would like to vote. We're illegal immigrants.
Yeah, literally. We won't show any ID or anything.
We're from Canada. We'd like to vote.
Yeah.
Can we go vote, please? We're illegal immigrants.
Let's do it.
Yeah, that'd be a fucking hilarious video.
Wow.
Show up.
Yeah. Well, shit.
Should I just commit myself to going to Washington? That's fun. All right. Oh boy. What do you think about the Bernie rally?
Oh my gosh.
How do you feel the Bernie crowd was compared to the Beto crowd?
Bernie's crowd was a lot more peaceful. I mean, they did remove my wig.
They tried to knock my hat off twice, Alex. I'm really traumatized. But good thing those guys were fully vaxxed and boosted. Otherwise, who knows what would have happened? And we need Medicare.
Well, you think they would have wanted to stay away from us because we're like super spreaders or something? Why didn't they keep their social distancing?
I don't understand. I don't know, man. It's a good question.
Yeah. But yeah, man. Well, shit.
We talked to that base Bernie bro. What do you think of that guy?
I think Rumble's gonna love him and Twitter's gonna love him.
Oh, we gotta put a clip of that guy.
Yeah, but it's not gonna be we're not gonna shit on him. We're gonna say
base Bernie bro almost has it.
Yeah, exactly.
He's close. Your base Bernie bro is so close to getting it.
Yeah, that's great.
Base Bernie bro is so close to getting it.
I think that's what we should do. It base Bernie bro is so close to understanding.
Yeah, whoever base Bernie bro is.
Yeah, shout out to him.
Shout out to base Bernie bro. We like that guy. That guy was pretty cool.
Yeah,
he was cool.
I like him. He had a good personality.
He was cool. Did he know that? I wonder if he knew what we were up to.
He probably thought at the end, maybe.
Well, when he saw us crashing, he was like, "Oh, this makes sense."
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Maybe he'll like start thinking. Who knows?
I like base Bernie bro.
I like Bernie bro too.
He was cool. I think I have his name because I bought the hat from his Cash App. Okay. I bought that Bernie hat, which is gonna be great for oh my god, it's gonna be so good for trolling.
We won't dox him.
No, why would we?
Exactly.
He was cool.
He's one of us.
He is. I like him, and I think generally speaking, I think one of the things that Alex and people like, because I'm a fan, right? But I'm saying this as a fan. I think one of the mistakes that they made pre-COVID. I'm saying this pre-COVID, okay? Is that they should have communicated with the Bernie supporters a little bit differently than they did in the past.
Yeah.
Because a lot of the Bernie guys, and this is pre-COVID, okay? Because pre-COVID, or especially in the 1980s, you weren't around, right?
Right.
You ever watch old Bernie Sanders videos?
No.
You should watch old Bernie Sanders videos from like the 80s and the 90s. Because he was saying a lot of very similar stuff that Alex was saying. About like how like a small cabal of people can control the media.
Really?
And talking about like central banks, and he talked about like how illegal immigration was wage suppression for Americans. Like he said a lot of very big. Yeah, Bernie Sanders actually said a lot of really like pretty base stuff back in the 80s.
What a scumbag! He just sold out. Now he's saying like, oh, no human beings illegal, and
yeah.
What a scumbag.
Well, he basically stumps for the Democratic politician. He talks about criticizing about the establishment messing things up, but then he's the biggest stumper for the establishment.
Oh, of course.
Right? And then you're supporting vaccine mandates from the private company, but you don't want to privatize healthcare. It's a joke, right? But if you looked at what Bernie said in the 80s and 90s, and the reason like Bernie Sanders has the fan base that he has, you should understand why he has the fan base to really break the communication barrier. Okay, I'm gonna even take my mask off for this one. All right. But you should understand that.
My legs are getting stiff.
Yeah. Well, we'll stop in a few minutes. All right. But I think understanding why he got his fan base is important to break the communication barrier. And the reason he got such a large fan base is because he said a lot of the same things that people like Alex said for years.
Yeah.
You just had a different solution than Alex Jones is having. And so when you're going to a Bernie rally, pre-COVID, okay, they all know, everyone at the Bernie rally knows Epstein didn't kill himself. Nobody at the Bernie rally wanted to vote for Biden. Nobody at the Bernie rally theoretically wants Amazon and Facebook and Google and Microsoft to have more power and influence than they do. But instead of building relationships and trying to find a common ground on that aspect, right, they literally bullhorned them, made fun of them, called them commies, and then every time they did an interview with these people, they always picked the dumbest people at the rally to highlight on their channel. And so it just created this distrust between between people who almost had like a horseshoe level of similarities with each other. Like, when you're far enough right and far enough left and you turn around, you're literally the same person. And it created a disconnect between those people when you should have honestly been trying to build a bridge between those people, because when you look at what happened in 2020 with COVID, this stuff would have not worked in any capacity if the Bernie Bros and the Trump supporters literally united on this front.
Yeah, and just the thing is, like, but their solution to the problem that they both agree is government but the Bernie Bros solution is just, government's so corrupt, so we just need more of it. Like,
the solution's absolutely retarded.
It's insane.
The solution is absolutely retarded. But, you got to talk to them like the way you talk to the pedophiles, right?
Right.
Like when you talk to these predators that you catch, you get them to open up and get them to talk to you because you're nice to them.
Right.
Because you create a common ground and you relate to them, right? And the Beto supporters, fuck them. You should make fun of them and tool them, make them look like fucking idiots.
Yeah.
You should, because there's no hope for those.
Yeah,
people.
there's uniparty.
They are the people. And you ever read Allegory of the Cave?
You told me what it was.
Okay, yeah, Allegory of the Cave. They're the people in Allegory of the Cave that want to stay in the cave and will attack you if you put them out of the cave. At least with the Bernie crowd, there is a small handful of Bernie supporters that want to break out of the cave. So I think there's a different type of. I think that type of knowledge is good to have when it comes to developing that type of communication. That's all I'm saying. If that makes sense.
Yeah. No,
and yeah, crashing the rally is funny because it's great footage, it's good content.
Right.
Battery. But there is a difference between the Bernie Bros and the Beto guys and the Biden supporters.
Oh, I noticed.
And there has to be an understanding of how to communicate with them differently to actually communicate effectively.
Right.
That's what I think. But what's the battery level on your thing?
It's almost dead.
All right, we're probably gonna wrap up. We talked about pretty much everything, right?
Yeah.
All right, Alex, how do we get a hold of you?
Well, just follow us on YouTube, Puggy Pug, Rumble Predator Poachers, Twitter, I Fight 4 Kids.
Yeah, baby. Alex Rosen, let's go.